Certainly. My view is that if you look at the job market, there are thousands and thousands of different jobs. And some of those jobs will require more traditional university training to do those jobs. But increasingly, I think you'll have more jobs that are specialized, and there'll be specialized micro-credentials that will be relevant. So my sense is that for management and executive jobs, probably that college degree will remain a really important credential. But for many other types of jobs where specialization is very important, I think certain specialized micro-credentials might be more valued by employers than a university degree. Well, I think it really depends on which courses you're looking at. So when we look at our degrees, which are 3-year programs, we have completion rates above 90%. In fact, right now it's above 95%. So when the student is very committed to what they're learning, they complete at very high rates. When we look at the completion rates among students who pay for a course to get that credential at the end of it, we see pretty high credential rates, about 50%. When you look at students who take a course for free, the completion rates are lower, but in many cases, the student is just trying it out. They're just checking to see if they want to take that course. It's a little bit like being on Amazon, where you'll browse different items. You don't buy everything that you research. Sometimes you'll put it in your cart, and sometimes you'll buy it later. But you're just sort of browsing and researching different ideas, and then later you might do that. And we see this with Coursera. People will try a course, leave it. Sometimes they'll come back to it, and sometimes they'll try a different course. I think artificial intelligence will have a different impact depending on what age the student is. So for younger students, a lot of what they need to learn is, to just be loved and touched and feel cared for by adults, and to learn how to play with their peers. So I don't think artificial intelligence is going to do much for that. I think that's just being with other humans and learning how to be collaborative and be social. I think for adults, artificial intelligence will have a bigger impact on their learning experience. A lot of it, frankly, will reduce costs by making grading more automated. So one of the things that takes a lot of time for professors and TAs is to grade all of the assessments. And I think that machine learning will become very good, especially when you have millions and millions of learners. Machine learning will be very good at grading written, computer science, mathematics. Many courses will be able to be graded automatically, and that will really reduce the cost of offering it. I also think that when you are taking courses and you're going through that assessment, the rate at which you are presented with ideas, how challenging those ideas are, will be much more personalized to you based on machine learning. So if we know that 100 people really struggled on a certain question on a certain test, and we know that they had struggled with other questions before that, maybe the computer will say, well, let's not give them such a hard question right now, let's give them a little bit easier question. Or if you're the kind of learner that really likes to do simulations, maybe your curriculum will be more based on simulations. Or if you are interested in architecture, maybe the case studies that you go through will be based on architecture. So it'll be more personalized to your mastery level and more personalized to your interests. 2049 is a long ways away. No one knows. But here's what I would say. I would say that virtual reality will have a virtual reality and machine learning will have a very big impact. I believe that technology will allow people to essentially feel like all their senses, their sight, their sound, their smell, they will feel like they're in a different place, not where they are. So the ability to virtually be in the same place will be almost transparent, if not transparent. So anybody will be able to be in the same space at the same time collaborating. And the ability to work together will be extraordinary. Today we have Google Docs, but the ability to share information and collaborate on projects will be totally seamless. What I can't really predict is what role machine learning and artificial intelligence will play in the nature of the problems that humans try to solve. It might be at a point by 2049 where computers can write computer software, computers solve data science problems. Computers might be doing a huge range of the things that humans do today. And so it might be the case that what humans are learning more about is how to influence and collaborate with other humans. It might really focus on that. I really don't know. It will be radically different, almost inconceivable from what we know today. It has been wonderful. We have 150 different partners on Coursera, universities, but pretty much each of them uses Coursera in their own way. Coming to this Congress, and I think it's even interesting that it's called Congress, sort of a coming together, I think is what Congress literally means. Coming together to share ideas. It's a wonderfully collaborative environment, and I've spoken with many of the heads of universities, and their willingness to share ideas, not just with me, but with each other, and to collaborate has been different from what I've seen in North America. It's been different from what I've seen in Europe. And so I think it has been a wonderful sharing of ideas. And in many cases, I think that Latin America and what is happening with higher education could lead the way in the sense of collaboration among universities in the world. So I think what's happening here is really fantastic and might be a model that the rest of the world follows.